So the first topic I'm going to talk about is that new Gremlins movie and a new Goonies movie is in development. Gremlins 3 and Goonies 2. Which I am excited for this news. Like, I love the first Goonies movie. That's one of my favorite adventure movies. Now, when it comes to Gremlins, I like the first two Gremlin movies. I even like the second one, even though it's like wacky and it's over the top, the second one. But I do enjoy the first two Gremlin movies. Like, they're not movies that I love. It's not like one like the original Gremlin movies isn't one of those movies that's like an all time cult classic for me, like it is for a lot of people. But they're fun movies, and I would be interested to see a Gremlins 3. Like, I wouldn't be. It's not one of those sequels I would be like, oh my god, I can't wait to see Gremlins 3. Like with Goonies 2, where I'm really more excited for that sequel than I am for a Gremlins sequel. But I think this is great news for fans from both sides, and I know there's a lot of fans out there that love those Gremlin movies. Same with the Goonies. So I'm definitely, Goonies 3, I'm really hyped up to see. With Gremlins 3, I have interest in it. So, we'll see with these movies. Hopefully they turn out to be really fun to great Lego sequels and they happen. The next topic is, so the Alien Romulus Tractor was talking about how the sequel is going to go into underwater, like new territories with the Alien sequel. Which is great here because as much as I love Alien Romulus, I thought it was the third best Alien movie in the franchise. And overall, I thought it was a great movie. I would say one of the little nitpicks I had about the movie is that there was times with some of those callbacks, especially with one in the movie where Andy goes like he has he has that line from where Ripley in Alien says, "Get away from all you bis." And Andy has a similar line to that in Alien Romulus, and it came out just kind of like that was one of those times where it felt like a forced callback to a really great line from Aliens. I do think with the Alien franchise, you need to do something new now. Now, that doesn't mean I want to see like an alien engineer human hybrid thing you saw then in Alien Romulus. I've never been really into the whole like having like aliens that look like more human and splicing the DNA of aliens. Like, I don't want it to go in that direction personally as an Alien fan. Like, I like the classic design of the aliens, but I do think you can go. I do think you need to go in some new direction story wise now, since I thought Alien Romulus did a great job of getting the franchise back on track, getting back to the horror roots of aliens and making them scary again. And I love the two main characters, Rain and Annie. So I do want to, I do think you need to go in a new direction. I love the fact that Fede Alvarez, the director, said that he's not just going to do an Alien sequel just to do one. He wants to make sure we have an actual good script, which I love hearing that. Because obviously Alien Romulus, like he talked about how like yeah we can do one, the studio wants to do one, but until I have like a really interesting, great story, then I'm not going to just do an Alien sequel. Which I love to hear that because Alien Romulus, I believe, was made for like 40 something. It made over like 350, 358. So it was a big box office hit. So look, I'm totally fine with the fact that he wants to make sure they have a great story idea for a sequel. I love hearing that, and I trust Fede Alvarez based on his track record. And like I said, I love Alien Romulus. I think seeing more stories with those two characters, Wayne and Annie, and that brother sister relationship, I think could be really interesting and compelling. As long as you have a really good, interesting story to go in the sequel. And like I said, I do think you need to go into kind of new territories with the Alien sequel. Just don't do any like more Alien hybrid human things where they try to make where they do like where they have aliens that look more human. That you know, like that part of the Alien Romulus movie reminded me too much of like Alien Resurrection with the whole like Ripley alien thing at the end that look at Ripley as like a mother. Like I'm somebody who just really prefers the classic alien design. But I definitely think you need to go in some new direction story wise in the Alien sequel. So the next topic I'm going to talk about is that Greta Gerwig's Narnia movie is going to get a limited theatrical release because originally it was going to be on Netflix. And I actually am excited for this Narnia movie. I do love the first Chronicles of Narnia movie. I enjoyed the second and third, but they were just kind of like forgettable and not as good as the first movie. But I actually love that first movie. And from what I heard, there's like 7 books or something like that. There's a whole book series, so there's a lot you could explore from what I heard story wise. But I'm glad to see that Greta Garner thought against Netflix because, to me, as somebody who loves going to theaters, I don't care what the movie is, it should be released at a theater. Like to me, movies are best seen at the theater. Like I'm somebody who believes that. Look, no matter what like setup you have at your home, and I totally understand at your home people have like these big setups you can do at your home for their own movie theater. But at the end of the day, to me, like going to a movie at the theaters is a communal experience. It's the biggest screen possible, and that to me is where the movies should be shown at. So I'm glad that she thought against Netflix and said, no, you know what? You're gonna at least put my movie out for a couple weeks. So the whole new Quantum Narnia's movie is gonna be in theaters for 4 weeks. The first 2 weeks in IMAX theaters, and then the third and fourth week will be in regular theaters. And the report said they could extend it for another week depending on how high the demand for Narnia movie is. How it's doing in theaters for those 4 weeks. And it's just great to hear as a film fan. Like I said, to me, movies deserve to be seen at the theater. That to me is where they should be seen. And I'll also say this: it helps when you put a movie on a streaming service to have them be in theaters. Like Knives Out 2 was a great example of that. Where I was like, it got a limited release, but to me, that movie should have been in theaters longer. Great movie, and I just, I understand Netflix is a streaming service, but at the end of the day, like you're gonna make more money at a theater your movie than it will on a streaming service. Way more at a theater than it will on a streaming service. So I'm happy that Graham Goddard, the director of Barbie's movie, directing the Narnia movie, said to Netflix, "Nah, you're gonna put my movie at least in a couple of weeks in theaters to have at least a little bit of a theatrical one," which I'm glad to hear. So as a movie fan, this is my opinion great news. And I really am excited for this Narnia movie personally. So the next topic, and this is the last one, is that James Mangold has talked about his Swamp Thing movie that he's going to be. He's attached to direct, saying how it's going to be a gothic horror standalone movie. Now, the interesting part of his comment is the standalone part because I'm curious, like what that means exactly. Like he says, it's not not trying. We're going to focus on just telling a self-contained story. It's going to have like a gothic horror, dark vibe towards the movie, but it's going to be standalone in nature. I'm definitely curious what that means, like how standalone, because James Gunn, he's obviously going to be set in the DC universe. I do think Swamp Thing, from what it sounds like, will be part of that universe. James Mangold's Swamp Thing movie, but it just won't be. Like I don't have a problem with a standalone movie when you're doing a universe. I just hope it does have at least some connections to James Gunn's universe. But the thing I really love about his comment is the fact that he's saying it's gonna be a gothic horror movie, like a gothic, it's gonna have a dark vibe. It's gonna have like a gothic type feel to the movie. Because Swamp Thing to me is one of those characters you can go dark with. Like I love the Swamp Thing show that only lasted a season that deserved to last longer, but it's a great character and you can really go some dark places with that character. So to me, a gothic Swamp Thing movie, that sounds great to me when it comes to it being like in a standalone nature. I'm definitely curious to see like if there is going to be any connections to James Gunn's DC universe in the Swamp Thing movie. Like how connected is it going to be, or is it just going to be like a really completely self-contained movie that will maybe like you see things that possibly maybe will set up future stuff. But the gothic part definitely has me the most excited. And James Mangold, I think, is a great director. Like I haven't loved every movie he's done, but to me, it sounds like tone-wise on the right path for this Swamp Thing movie. So that's all the movie topics today. Until next time, movie fans.